Hello, and welcome to Leanplum, the complete mobile marketing platform. In this video, I will be giving you an overview of the Leanplum Lifecycle engine. We will cover what it takes to get set up, basic functionality, as well as some advanced uses. Hopping right into the dashboard, let's start by understanding some of the navigation. Leanplum's Lifecycle engine is split up into two main parts. First are the Lifecycle campaigns. These campaigns are all automated and allow you to have multiple messages as part of one seamless messaging campaign. Second are all messages not included in Lifecycle campaigns, which includes our blast announcements, promotional messages, as well as our in-app messages. For this, we provide a calendar view to get a quick overview of which messages are going out on which dates, as well as the ability to manage the frequency of your messages to ensure that we're not spamming our end users. To get an overview of all of your messages, you can select View All Messages. Now, let's take a quick look at how to set up a message within Leanplum. The first option when creating a new message is to determine the type of message you want to send. With Leanplum, you can reach out to your users through many channels, including push notifications, which help you re-engage your users directly through their mobile device. We also allow you to send email directly through Leanplum, or you can integrate to other services using webhooks, like for example, an SMS or another email service provider. For in-app messaging, Leanplum gives two options. First are newsfeed messages. The newsfeed acts as an inbox for your application, a place where messages can be persisted over time. A common best practice among our customers is even to copy over your push notification and email campaigns to the newsfeed as well. That way, if a user doesn't see the push or email, the next time they come to the app, that message will be waiting for them. For more traditional in-app messaging, Leanplum offers many out-of-the-box templates. This includes a template specifically designed to help you increase your iOS push notification opt-in rate. We've seen customers triple their opt-in rate by A/B testing this in-app message and recommend that all of our customers give it a try. But what's great about any in-app message in Leanplum is that it's fully customizable in terms of the look and feel. We've open sourced each of these templates, giving you the ability to completely define how that message will be displayed in your app. Meaning, if you have custom UI or branding, you can build that directly into your in-app messaging. So whenever a user receives the message, it's a very seamless experience. For this overview, we're going to stick with push notifications. Now, we can select a custom target for this message. But there's another video completely dedicated to targeting and segmentation, so I would encourage you to check out that video to find out all of the different ways you can slice and dice your user base. Once we've chosen our target audience, we can select a delivery time. One option is to send this notification at a single time to all users in your application. This is most commonly used for an event that starts at a single time, like for example a sporting event. However, for notifications that aren't so time sensitive, we want to ensure that the user is awake and active when they receive that message. For this, we give you the ability to send the message off at a specific time in the user's local time zone. But here at Leanplum, we always want to make data-driven decisions. So, instead of guessing at the best time to send this message, we offer our customers an optimal time delivery. This mechanism uses a machine learning algorithm within Leanplum to determine the most optimal time to send a notification on a user-by-user basis. Meaning, if one user of the app always uses the app in the morning versus another user who always uses the app in the evening, we'll deliver this message at two different times for each of those users based on their individual usage of the app. This can help not only drive more opens to your notifications, but also drive more resulting conversions from the campaign. Once we're setting up our delivery time, we can customize the text of our notification. You can personalize your text in two ways. First is to personalize the message to each individual user who will be receiving it. This can be done by reusing any user attribute value that you've already saved to Leanplum. A common example is to save the user's first name as an attribute and then reuse that right in the message. So this message will now say, "Hi Sean," if it were being sent to me. But oftentimes we want a message to go out to our entire app audience, but have different message copies for different segments of our users. You can accomplish this by adding a segment to the message text. One common example of this is to translate your messages into multiple languages, using Leanplum's out-of-the-box language targeting. Here, we will target all users who have Spanish as their default device language, and for just those users, we'll update the message text. And you can end up with a resulting campaign that's translated into multiple languages like you're seeing here. But this doesn't have to be used just for translation. You can also use these segments to give different messages to your different loyalty members, just as an example. And now we've completed the setup of this message. We're sending out a push notification going out to all users, delivered at the most optimal time, and we're personalizing the message to the individual user, as well as translating it to their preferred language. But before publishing this message to your app, we encourage you to preview it on your own devices. To do that, simply click Preview in the top right-hand corner, and you'll receive this notification on any previously registered test device. As discussed at the beginning of the video, Lifecycle campaigns give you the ability to group multiple messages within one campaign. For Leanplum, these campaigns are all about driving specific behaviors in your app. There are often certain number of milestones that if a user reaches those points in your app, they're much more likely to be a loyal and engaged user. And we have seen a best practice from our customers to create a lifecycle campaign for each of those milestones to help automate these messages and convert more users to becoming loyal users. Back in the dashboard, I have a few examples of our common lifecycle campaigns around onboarding, re-engagement, and conversions, but you can create as many lifecycle campaigns as you need specific to your app. To show you an example, let's go into an onboarding campaign. We all know user acquisition is expensive, and you hear a lot of stats about a large percentage of users only using an app once. Because of this, it's important to stay top of mind with your users during their first week of usage to ensure that they're engaging with your app after download. Here, our campaign is set to trigger for all users who open the app for the very first time. And our goal for this campaign is to get a user to sign in and create a profile within the first week. Until a user does that, we'll automate the messages to the right to that user. We'll send a push notification one day after they launch the app to welcome them. And if they happen to not open up that push within one day, we'll follow up with an email. We also have a day 3 and a day 7 message. However, the idea behind these campaigns is that they should be smart, meaning if a user signs in during their first session, they'll see none of these messages. Whereas, if they sign in on day 4, they'll get the day 1 and day 3 message, but not the day 7. So we'll always ensure we're only serving relevant content to your users. Now, let's go into another example. This one will be focusing on re-engagement. Oftentimes with mobile apps, you'll get a push notification sent anytime you go 7 days without opening up the app, and we can do the same thing within Leanplum. However, let's add a little more context to the message than just saying they haven't opened up the app. In this example, I'm going to say that if a user completes an activity, but doesn't do that same activity within a week, we should automate a message to them. And remember, this activity can be any event that you're tracking to Leanplum. So it could be them simply opening up the app, or for a retail app, maybe it's them viewing an item. A travel app could say that you're searching for a destination, or maybe a media app is concerned about you consuming content. You can use any of these actions to achieve this campaign. The benefit being that you can use these events to add more context to your message. So let's go into that day 7 message and take a closer look. With any event that you send to Leanplum, you can include with it metadata, or what we refer to as event parameters, to add additional context to that event. For example, if I'm completing an activity, it's probably valuable to know the activity name. But in a more real-world example, if I'm adding an item to my shopping cart, I'll want to know the item name, the department, and the price. Or if I'm searching for a flight, I'll want to know the destination and the flight dates. By sending this information over to Leanplum, you can reuse it in the message itself. You can see below, we're already personalizing this message by referring to the user's first name. But we can also add more context by referencing what they're doing in the application. This makes our messages much more meaningful and results in a much higher rate of conversions. And we can also take this one step further and dynamically update our deep linking back to the app. This way, a user isn't just taken to the home screen when they open up this notification, but rather, they're taken back to the specific section in the app where completing this conversion is as seamless as possible. Now that we've seen how to create a message and a lifecycle campaign, let's talk about some of the advanced settings we have available within your campaigns. For this, we'll hop back over to the dashboard, go into our app settings, and select keys and settings for our application. Here, you'll see a tab dedicated to push notifications. The first section is where you can copy over to Leanplum your push certificates as well as your Google API key, which will allow Leanplum to send push notifications on your behalf. Next is a section for Uninstall Tracking. This is a metric that Leanplum captures for you automatically if enabled. We track this on a daily basis, so you can understand a baseline of how many users on a typical day either uninstall your app or turn off push notifications from the device level. The most common way this metric is used is as a goal for an A/B test, especially if you're testing out different push notifications. If you see that one notification is causing a significantly higher number of uninstalls, it's probably a good indication you should pause that campaign and rethink your strategy. In the next tab, you'll see that Leanplum offers message caps. This allows you to limit the total number of notifications that are sent on a per day and per week basis to an individual user. For example, we could limit our push notifications to only go out 2 times a day and no more than 8 times per week. However, there are often notifications that we want to be sent to our users regardless of if that user has reached their message cap. More often than not, these are transactional notifications like, for example, order confirmations. This is why Leanplum allows you to exclude individual messages from these caps to ensure that a user receives the message. Going back over into an individual message, you can see that there is now an option to exempt this message from your caps. Simply by selecting this option, it guarantees the message will be sent regardless of how many previous messages that user has received in that time period. One final option are quiet hours. Here, you can set a time range which will be in the user's local time zone, during which no notifications will be sent. This ensures that we aren't delivering the message when the user is asleep, for example. If a message is set to go out during that time, we simply wait until the quiet hours are over and deliver the message at that time. Now that you know how to create all sorts of campaigns within Leanplum, it's important to know how to measure the effectiveness of our messages. The good news is, Leanplum allows you to analyze your messages based on any metric that you're tracking to your app. Meaning you can go much further than just conversion rates to see if these campaigns are moving the needle in terms of your most important KPIs. First, let's go into our onboarding campaign and you'll notice an option to view analytics. By clicking into that, we're taken directly to our campaign analytics, and here we can see the total number of users who have entered and successfully exited this campaign. Also, you can see the aggregate totals of how many sends and opens there were for all messages in this campaign. But we also allow you to analyze each message individually. You'll see the conversion rates here, but you can also click into that specific message using our left-hand navigation. Here, we will not only show you the conversion rates, but we also give you the ability to analyze based on any metric that you're tracking to Leanplum. This allows you to measure the downstream ROI of these campaigns and not just stop tracking the user once they've opened up the app. As you've seen, Leanplum's Lifecycle engine allows you to create and automate all of your messages to your users. I hope that you found this overview useful and enjoyable. Please check out our other overview videos to understand the full breadth of Leanplum's platform. If you have any questions or feedback along the way, we'd love to hear from you at support@leanplum.com. Thank you and have a great day.